it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you.
Welcome back, friends, to what ended up being a 2-day day in the life. And I'm starting out with our morning routine of just getting ready, making up the bed, and breakfast before we start school.
By you. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you. Oh, I can't believe you love me. I just feel so lucky. Still can't believe you love me. I hope it never ends. It's being more than friends. Yeah. You know I'm here to stay every single day. Yeah. So hold me tight.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a day in the life. So I showed you breakfast this morning. Then we kind of sat around relaxing for a while, and now we're going to work on school. We are getting close to finishing up Sophie's school for the school year. We have about 3 more weeks. I thought I would give you an update on what we're using and how that's going for her, kind of how I see it going into next year. Also going to give you an update on Katie and how she's doing with college and what her next year looks like as well. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Who knows what else we'll get into, because on these day in the life videos we don't really plan anything. It's just kind of like, what are we doing that day? So I'm hoping to get out by the pool later too. It's really nice today. It's gonna be like 78 degrees. You got mommy's glasses? Thank you. Good morning. Like I said, at this point in the school year, I don't necessarily do day by day what I have scheduled. I kind of start working ahead a little bit just so that we can end a day or 2 or 3 before we kind of plan to. We're waiting, Computer is slow, we're waiting.
You have to be patient.
You have to be patient. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 weeks, not including the rest of this week. We also, though, we're kind of eliminating Fridays from our school weeks at this point, just because we've worked ahead in Bible and history. And science is done as well. We started a new history, but we're kind of doing that earlier in the week. So everything we had scheduled for Fridays is basically already done for the year. So we won't be doing school on Friday. So that puts us a day ahead every week. So we have recently switched Sophie to Aces Paces, or Paces. I don't even really know what this thing is called, but it's little workbooks. So this is math. She's doing grade 2. She's moved through this really, really quickly. So I had her originally in grade 3, and not in this, but we've done math lessons for living education this year, as well as the good and the beautiful. Both of those did not have enough practice work for Sophie to be able to pick up on some concepts. So as a result of that, where we were struggling was with borrowing and subtraction, carrying and addition, where we had multiple step problems, or adding 3 numbers, and also there was still a little bit of lingering issues with place value, which Math Lessons for a Living Education actually does a really good job with place value, but the way they taught it was just not compatible with how Sophie learns. So I just don't think we ever really nailed that down, but I think most people would agree that Math Lessons for a Living Education puts a tremendous emphasis on place value, but for whatever reason, it just didn't work for Sophie. So and that is, the point of homeschooling, so you can do what really works the best for your kids. So this is what we're using for math, and so this is 1021. So this is workbook 8 out of 12, basically, for 2nd grade. So by the time we finish the school year, she will finish this one and one more. She'll have 2 left that we'll do over the summer. So she'll start in August with their 3rd grade stuff. It's taking her about 6 months to get through a whole grade level. So she's moving through it very, very quickly. Even though there's a lot of repetition, you know, we're really not skipping much of anything. She's just able to do it quickly, and it's working really well. So it works kind of where there's just a page of work for her to do. She's able to do this a lot more independently than anything we've ever used. And then in the middle of the book, there's a test. So when you get to the end, you do the test. We're doing the test. I'm grading the test. Like probably every single test that she's taken in all of these, she's only not made 100 on one, and I think she made a 96 on that. So not that I really care what the grades are, it's more that that confirms to me that she's really getting the material and the information. So if you do have a struggling learner, ACEs, PACEs might be something to look at. This is never something that I would have probably even thought of, but you know, when you've kind of used everything, I feel like I've used a lot of different curriculum between both of my kids and mostly Sophie. You know, I never thought I would try this, but it's working really well. So that's math, and then we're also doing language arts. And so my understanding is that this one is an elective, literature and creative writing, but I'm using this as part of language arts. So this one has a lot of like reading comprehension. There's a little bit of writing in there. There's a little bit of handwriting. There's a lot of like, what do you think this person is thinking in the picture and things like that. So this one's really good for Sophie because of the reading comprehension, and also it aligns with some of the things that she's doing in speech therapy. So I found this one to be valuable, even though it's technically an elective. And then this one I think is also technically an elective. It probably wouldn't be in my state just because it's how they cover spelling. But I think that the company considers this to be an elective, but it's called word building. There's handwriting in here. There's vocabulary and there's spelling. This one seems to have really boosted her reading level. So just with the words and things like that, and the fact that she's doing so much spelling of words, she's reading words quicker. This one's been a real, I think, important factor for her reading, which has really taken off lately. So we're using this one, and then we're using their English. So they consider their core to be English, math, social studies, and science, which we're not using the social studies and science, but I'm doing it a little bit differently, and I'm calling language arts a combination of the literature, creative writing, word builder, and English. And then so in Homeschool Planet, you can take classes and wrap them together for a grade. So I bundle that into what I call language arts, and then all of the scores for all of these different workbooks are put into that, and it averages it as language arts. So she has a grade for language arts, she has a grade for math, and then that's what we've been doing. But so these have been really, really good. So this is an example of the test in the middle. The tests are not really long. It's very much where you are very, 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 very well prepared for the test. So some of them might be identical to what you've done. Some of them are going to be really similar. So it's just, you know, it's easy for Sophie to do well. These are very much made for a child like Sophie to succeed and build confidence. So that's what I like about it. So we have already purchased the grade 3, which she'll be starting that for next year. I believe she'll probably move through it fairly quickly as well, and will probably be able to move into grade 4 next year also. So that would be good if that happens. I bought Christian Light Bible, actually grade 1 for next year, because I want to focus on the reading comprehension, and also there's still coloring in the grade 1. So I wanted something that would be light and easy, where we could just talk about Bible stories, and you know, there wouldn't be anything hard about it. It would be kind of like below her level. So that was my goal with this, which is why I went with grade 1. So we're going to start this next year. We've already finished what we did for Bible this year, which is the storybook Bible, and she was doing like writing sentences and doing some like drawing the pictures with that. Next year we are still going to be doing Good and the Beautiful for science. We're doing health in the human body, marine biology, and geology. Those are going to be the units we're going to use. We're starting with marine biology this summer. Sophie's excited about that one. We finished up the Good and the Beautiful History Year 2 this year, and I decided to move to the America Story 1. We've already started this, but we'll finish this next year. This will be our history for next year. This is really just because we've already gone through all the Good and the Beautiful, and as much as I do like them, I'm kind of bored of them. So this is just for us to have something different. I could kind of see us moving to Aces Paces at some point in the future, just because of the fact that it gives me the ability to grade it when she moves into middle school and beyond. But for now, we just sit on the couch, we read this, we talk about it, that's it. It's very basic. And I think it's well suited for her. So that's everything. That's what we're going to be using next year, what we're using now, and it's working great for us. So I'm doing my grading system for Bible, science, and history is basically like satisfactory, unsatisfactory, like that, where I'm doing actual letter grades for math and language arts now, which I think it's, you know, this is her 4th grade year. I think that's appropriate. You know, she's not on grade level, but we're working on it and making a lot of progress. I would say she's probably made more progress this school year than she ever has before. Also, I wanted to let y'all know we're still doing a lot of the Good and the Beautiful little readers. So this is a 1B level, and before we started Aces Paces, these were very, very hard for her, and now I would say this level 1B is basically easy. All right, do you want to do your spelling?
I want to do spelling.
We'll do spelling first.
Here's
Sophie's good handwriting.
I'm trying to
So they have it for her to write like 6 times, but we're not doing that. It's a little too much for the handwriting, but it's also to help her learn to spell her spelling words. I will say though, Sophie has not needed that. She has been able to make hundreds on her spelling test for the most part with just doing what we do and not writing it 6 times every time. So this is an example of when they introduce a new word. So I just have her read it to me. She usually already knows the word, and then she writes it 1 time. And then they will have like little sentences. I'll have her read these words to me, then read the sentence, and she'll tell me which word she thinks goes in there. This used to be really hard for her, but now she's doing it almost independently. I feel like we're going to be moving towards her doing this independently very soon. Cleaning up the kitchen from breakfast now that we have finished school. I just it's day by day as to whether I do this right after breakfast or right after school. I just, figure out what Sophie wants to do that day, and if she's eager to get school done or go ahead and start school, then we do school first. Otherwise, we will just kind of take a slow morning and I'll get the kitchen cleaned up and then we'll do school. So I also want to update you on Katie. So I know I had mentioned in a previous video that Katie was trying to get permission to go ahead and take junior classes next year, and she did get permission. She was able to register, and then when she registered, she did get her junior level classes. She's going to be taking 2 classes this summer, and that will make her a regular junior starting in the fall. So she basically is skipping her sophomore year. She was able to do this because she did enough credits in high school as dual enrollment, so that she just needed those 2 classes that she's going to take this summer, and that makes up that freshman year, if that makes sense. So she was counted as a freshman for most of this year until she registered this semester. However, she was really taking mostly sophomore classes and finishing up some of the general eds during the course of this first year of college for her. So she's doing well, and she's really excited that worked out. I'm not sure what we would have done if it didn't work out, because it was really not much left for her to take. So the classes that are offered in the summer are typically online classes, and that's what she's going to be taking. She'll be finishing up her last 2 general eds and then starting with her junior level classes in the fall. Sophie and I are gonna go sit out by the pool. It's still a little bit cool, the water's cold, and we don't have it heated right now, so we are just sitting out by the pool. We're not wearing bathing suits and all that, and Sophie's just gonna play in a little tub of water, which was something that she really loves to do because the toys don't float away from her and all of that, and she can just sit in a chair and play. I'm gonna read a book and just be out there with her because I don't let her go into the backyard by herself because of the swimming pool. Katie normally would also join us out here, but she is actually studying for exams during this time. She has all of her exams are the following week, so she is putting in the study time. So basically the last exam that she has is May 1st, and then she is done for the summer until she starts her summer classes, which are basically the entire month of June. So she has May off, July off, and August until school starts off. But during the month of June, she's going to have 2 online classes to do.
And I still wonder where you are, and if you found a way out from the dark. The stories I've been told, they never seem to leave my mind. And this road that I am on, I gotta stay here for some time.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things.
Just like that, it is time for supper. So I am just doing some rice, some zucchini, and some shrimp on the Blackstone. All I do is add a little bit of oil and some soy sauce and some of Kinder's The Blend on the zucchini. For the rice, I use sesame oil, just a little bit, and soy sauce, and also I use the blend for seasoning. The blend is just salt, pepper, and garlic, so you could use that instead. But that's all I'm going to do, and I will cook the shrimp with just a little bit of butter and also add a little bit of the blend. And that's it. It's super simple to make, and I'm just doing this because it's easy and Gary is out of town. Gary was actually out of town all week this week after having been in town for a couple of weeks. So even though he's usually out of town during the week, it was still kind of weird having him not be there. And this blue heron was our dinner guest on this night.
Walk up the river by my son. Feet step over splinters of the moon.
Friends, we'd love to pray for you. If we can pray for you, let us know in the comments below.
Golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things.
Good morning, it's the next day. Katie is back from school. She had school this morning. Sophie and I are working on school again. I made the same breakfast as yesterday, so I didn't bother to film that. Katie is very kindly cleaning up for us right now. She is nearing the end of school. How was your day today, Katie?
It was okay because the professor brought Dunkin' Donuts to class.
Yum. Only 4 people showed up, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully she'll get extra credit for being there today. It's the last class before the final,
I highly
right?
doubt that. There was a time where there was only 3 people there, including me, and there wasn't any kind of extra credit.
So this was the last class though before the final?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Katie's helping me. Sophie and I are running a little bit behind on school, so we're gonna go ahead and try to knock that out. She's having some regression today in math, which is, I used to find that super frustrating, but now we just kind of do what we need to do. The ACEs Paces that I told y'all we are using now has so much practice that helps a lot when there's any regression that kind of sets in. So she has been learning to borrow and carry with like, you know, hundreds on the top and tens on the bottom. And so she'll learn it and then they'll change it, just tweak it just a little bit. And we have a little bit of regression, especially if they go from like a lot of carrying to now all of a sudden we're focusing on borrowing, but we'll get there. So what we usually do is switch to like doing a page together, then her trying to do a page, and then I'll jump in as needed. But we've got speech therapy today. We're going to my mom's, and hopefully we want to walk on the beach tonight. So hope you're having a great day. We're gonna go ahead and get Sophie's school done so that we can leave for speech. Probably not gonna film that because we did that yesterday. Ready? Thought I would show y'all that Sophie, even though she struggled with getting kind of back on track with the borrowing because they did carrying for a while, she just did her test for this unit. And she made 100. So she got all of the ordinal numbers and the color words right, and then she had some carrying, and then she had carrying with bigger numbers, and then she had 1 row of borrowing, and she was able to do that too. So she got them all right. So I'm so proud of her. She, even if she has a little bit of regression, she does come back and she's able to get it again. So we just don't give up. Ready for speech? Well, we gotta go. Ready, go? Got your water?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Feels great out here, doesn't it, Sophie?
Yeah.
It's warm.
Such a long time ago. Maybe we've grown apart. Maybe we weren't meant to be right from the start. But I remember those days with joy.
We are back home. It's been one of those days, just a very trying, annoying day. We got through speech therapy. Sophie's speech day has been moved again, but it was better than having to like get a whole new therapist and start over from that standpoint. But today they did the thing where they tried to separate us. I always go back with Sophie. I don't care what it is, what kind of appointment it is. I do not drop her off. I just don't do that. And so for whatever reason, today was the day that they decided to challenge that, and so they asked Sophie if mommy could, you know, wait in the waiting room. And normally Sophie will answer with whatever she thinks the person wants them to say. So like she doesn't usually self-advocate at all. And today she said no, like really loudly. So I was really proud of her, and I just told her, you know, I don't do that. So it's just really frustrating. I feel like that seems to be the norm now, to separate the child and the parent. And I do know that is like what most parents do with speech therapy. I'd be interested if y'all do speech therapy, or if you have special needs children doing therapies like that, what do you do in that situation? I have never dropped Sophie off, and the reason why is because in this situation, it's not a group setting, it's one individual. I don't know her. She doesn't know Sophie well enough. She can't always understand Sophie, and I feel like Sophie is not always going to advocate for herself. So I just don't feel comfortable dropping her off, you know, with those situations. And then finally got through speech. Sophie, you know, wasn't in that great of a mood. She's not a fan of speech right now. We had to go by my mom's. We were hoping to have like finally have a visit, because we've had like just a huge to-do list of things that had to be done with her moving and all the different things, and she's locked out of the bank. So we've been doing some different things with her banking to try to make things easier, and the bank had locked her out because of her ID not matching or something like that. So we had to get in the car, go to the bank because her debit card had been locked. She had no access online, and so we had to, you know, get that sorted out. And so Sophie did not want to do that. So fortunately, Katie was home and was able to come get her. I felt so bad because I had told Sophie that we were not going to have to go to the bank because I thought everything was handled. Then we had to go to the bank anyway, because Mom got locked out, and you know, I couldn't leave her in that situation. She had no access to her money, debit card wasn't working, you know, so, but we got it sorted out. So now it's time for dinner again. I feel like the day has just kind of, again, gotten away from me. So I was gonna do arroz con pollo, which is just, you know, rice and chicken with like some, I usually do some veggies with that and some queso. I'm not really feeling rice tonight for myself, so I'll probably make some like one of those bags of rice for the girls, because we ate rice last night too, and I'm actually not a huge rice person, but for me, I'm probably just gonna do chicken with some veggies and some queso on top and maybe some salsa or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that together, and I think hopefully if we can eat quickly enough, I want to go walk on the beach tonight. Hopefully we'll get to do that. We didn't get to do that last night because the timing of the tide and having to eat dinner a little bit later last night. So go ahead and get supper together.
Strive to be more. We all long for viva la vida. Around the corner I'll meet ya, a bit lighter and freer. I'm so happy to see ya. Up my lungs and it tickles. Oh, what a joyful feeling. I think
Thanks for being here today, friend. We'll see you next time. Bye.
This rains and soak up the sun. Ooh,